Thank you.
You have a nice day.
You too. It's the weekend, so that means projects, of course. I'm working on my computer today. It's more like a side grade than an upgrade. So no major hardware changes, nothing like changing out the CPU or the GPU, but I am changing my hard drive configuration case. Basically, for years, I've always had my PC configured hard drive wise as such. So I would have a good SSD as a boot drive, Windows boot drive. Then I'd have an HDD spinning metal 3.5-inch drive that holds all my games, applications, stuff that I don't want to keep on my boot SSD. Then I'd have another SSD as a game cache. So games that are large, take a long time to load, or stuff that I play very often, I will put on there, especially GTA 5 and Call of Duty and Battlefield. Then I would also have a larger extra drive specifically for video recordings and editing. I've always had this configuration and setup, but over the years it's grown from just 4 basic drives to 5 to 6, down to 5 again. Today, I'm gonna trim it down to 3 because M.2 prices have been gotten really cheap. And back before installers like Steam, Origin, Uplay, that kind of stuff had the options for it, I use Steam Mover to move all the files over. They use symbolic links instead of shortcuts, and that's how it tricks the system into thinking that it is on one drive when it's actually referenced to another drive. And that way you can install games on one drive, Steam move it to a different drive, like in this example an SSD, and they'll load faster. Nowadays it's kind of moot, but old habits die hard, especially Steam Mover. This is an application that's been in like final release since, I don't know, 2010, but it's stupid, straight, simple, and I'm pretty sure there's a way to do this manually with like command prompt or command shell. I did clear out ahead of time these drives, so I'm going to yank these these are M.2s. These used to be SSDs, but now I'm going to unify this into 3. So instead of having 3 of my M.2s on my motherboard taken up, and then a 2.5 or a 3.5 and a 3.5, just going to have 2 M.2s. That'll hold all of my captures and my games. Although it's a bit of a downgrade because these 2 drives are Crucial P5 pluses, and the ones I'm going to are P3s. But P3s are the only ones that can go up to 4 terabytes, whereas the P5s can only go up to 2. But got these on a good sale, so. The tool I'm going to use to unify these drives is going to be Clonezilla, which I do have a drive somewhere. Oh, there it is. So thankfully the M.2s are mounted on the front of the motherboard. I don't have any in the back. Can't reach it because I have a graphics card in the way. It is very nice to have an up desk. So of course I have a thermometer to keep track of how hot it is in the case. I have mirrors so I can keep track of my fans, whether or not they're actually still spinning. And I have a good old EVGA card. Then I have a support stand. I only need to unhook the GPU so I can access the bottom 2 drives. Mainnet boot SSD is right up here, but the other 2 drives are under this card. Man, simpler times when a graphics card was only 2.5 slots thick. I did get a chip with an onboard GPU, so I should be able to still boot this properly, especially just for Clonezilla. LTT screwdriver. There we go. Hopefully this will work when I put it back in. I'm going to keep the cooler and 2 of these fans. I'm not going to keep this back fan. It might be easier just to get this case out from under here, but I don't want to have to hook it all up just so I can get Clonezilla going again. So the P3 Plus is going to be for the games. And before we get Clonezilla started, let's unhook all the non-essentials. So I got this Clonezilla drive, and which one should I use? I'll use that one. And then don't forget, I need the onboard hooked up because I no longer have a graphics card in here. Bingo. There's my boot drive, there's the new drive, there's the game drive, and there's the recording drive. So game drive is the source, and try to not overwrite my boot drive, or my recording drive for that matter. Alright, so I got that sorted. Now we're going to do the recording drive. Make sure that old 2 terabyte platter drive is detached. So this drive is a basic P3. Saved a couple bucks. It's only about a gigabyte a second, a little slower on transfer. It's not a big deal. It's more than fast enough. Yeah, this box, P3, 3500 megabytes. P3 plus, 4800 megabytes a second. So, and we're off. Yeah, even though I did everything I can to cut down some of the garbage files I had on these drives, it still takes a minute. Alright, looks like it's done. Gonna have to test it and make sure the drives are running. Time to put this drive in, make sure it runs, and then we'll do the hard part. The actual hard part. Boots right up. Sweet. So, looks like the drives are in the clear. Boot drive, app drive, recording. Actually, these drive letters are messed up. Yeah, let me correct that, and then we will get to the actual building part. Make sure that's drained of power, and then unhook everything. Maybe I should have lowered the desk first. Woo! And this is why I run multiple filters. So I got this filter that comes with the case. Then I have Silverstone filters. Yeah, I'm going to definitely lower this desk. If anyone's wondering what this number label is, that's the ISO week I last dusted this computer. So it's probably somewhere in June or July. My new case doesn't have glass windows, it just has mesh and it's smaller, so I won't be needing these RGB strips anymore. It's funny, I didn't even route these really properly. Like, it wasn't meant to show off anything, it was just meant to permit visibility inside the case. I also kind of love how I still don't use standard case fan screws. I like them to be easily removable, so I just have machine screws with normal nuts on them. That way I can remove them easily to clean with minimal tools or effort without having to move my case. I got those radiator fans on splitters so I can easily remove them for maintenance. I'm gonna leave a lot of this stuff hooked up because it's just gonna be a transplant. That hopefully should be everything. Awesome. So this Noctua fan is staying. These ones are coming out. I don't remember if I left the little wrench that goes on these. I do have a Nipex Cobra though. Yep, and these are the machine screws I use to keep the case fans in because it's easy to remove. And for some reason I think it's easier than just using actual case screws. Yep, I even have extensions on the fans because without moving my case, I wanted to be able to just unbolt the fans, take them out, unplug them right here, clean them, and then put them back. So a lot of my cable layout were entirely meant to maintain this computer without having to move it. All right, so everything in the front is done. Let's flip her over and see what she's got. And here are the obsolete SATA drives. I think these are entirely toolless. So the Seagate Barracudas last me a decent amount. And then Toshiba, man, Toshiba drives. Toshiba was one of those hard drive companies where I'm like, wait, they make hard drives? They were definitely very affordable, didn't seem to have any problems, and I was just suspicious because of that. They don't spend money on marketing, and I've never had to warranty or fix or get replaced any Toshiba drives. This is my third Toshiba drive. I had a 5 terabyte, a 6 terabyte. Ow. Yeah, I'm pretty sure I didn't put any screws in these hard drive sleds. Like, I do love these sleds for that reason. Just got to get the power supply out. So I'm running a Seasonic power supply. It's an 850 watt, which is definitely enough for my 3080 Ti. But I've always loved Seasonic. I might leave all these connected. Yep, Seasonic Focus PX850. So I did get a platinum. Titaniums are definitely overkill. Golds are cool. Bronze are fine. But I just wanted platinum for reasons. All right, time for... I'm going to finish dusting this later. I'm more concerned about actually getting the next case up and running. So that original case is a Fantex Enthoo Evolve Micro ATX case. But now I found a case that matches my expectations for a small Micro ATX case. So it supports my 280 rad. This is a Lee Dan case A3 MATX. Decently featured. Fit my 280. It'll fit my 3080 Ti, and it'll fit my full ATX power supply. But I'm gonna have to figure out how to get these mounts to work. Definitely cheaper than my Fantex case too. Build quality seems nice out the gate for a $70 case. I am gonna love this removable rad mount though. It'll be easier to clean my radiator now. But yeah, there's not much in the way of cable management. Yeah, nothing in the back. We'll have to make it work. They do provide zip ties. So I didn't get the wood front paneled version that has a mesh front. So I'll have to make this face on the inside. When I originally got this case, I was trying to figure out how I'm gonna keep my 3.5 drives, but since I availed myself of such concerns, I now no longer have to worry about it. Man, and Lee is known for like expensive ass cases too. This is actually a pretty nice case. Man, I really like this hatch out front too. Should really put my mat square under this thing, but whatever, don't care. It's always funny how I can be so OCD about certain things and then other things I just kind of gave up on. Here's hoping I don't have to rearrange the pump because I don't want to deal with that. Like a glove. Wonkiest out of line corner first. I swear if I have a bad standoff again like I had a couple cases ago, that bottom corner doesn't want to grab at all. It's not the end of the world, but it is concerning. I haven't had that happen in a while. Shouldn't cause too many problems, but the main square of support is functioning, so fans are going to go on the top, 140s. These will be exhaust fans since heat rises. So these won't need filters, supposedly. But I will give them a splitter. I want them to be controlled the same. That's where these come in. Should I be lazy and just do corner to corner? Okay, so the radiator fans are also powered by a splitter. I'm going to probably route it in between the two fans up here. So I have a splitter for the Noctua fans, and I got a splitter for the radiator fans. Then this splitter, I believe, will be for the fans, for the radiators. Yep, so these ones for the radiators. This one is not for the radiators. I like these Noctua Industrials, or Reduxes. I like the gray color scheme, and honestly, the cheaper price is really nice too. Hard to see dust on them though. Why am I dusting over the thing I'm trying to keep clean? So rotate it like this, and that should just about fit because of my damn power supply. Yep, should be good enough. As they say, all the temporary solutions become permanent ones. Famous last words, this is the top done. I will not forget that switch. This case has a mesh bottom, so I guess I didn't need these fan filters. So unlike my original case, I'm actually gonna put a couple intake fans to feed this 3080, but I can't decide yet if I'm gonna use the actual case screws. Yes, I'm gonna actually use the case fan screws because there's no way I'm gonna be easily removing these to clean them. Hopefully it never becomes an issue. So one more Y. I was considering doing the monstrably evil thing of not using all 4 screws, but I don't want to store them, so I have a suspicion that once I put this rad in, I don't know if I could put an exhaust in here. Yeah, because once this is in, that's asking for trouble, boy. Well, shoot. I guess I got a third Noctua fan for nothing. So it looks like I got a spare 120. I was thinking about that being a problem when I ordered the parts. That's going to definitely sit heavy on the GPU. Technically, I cracked this computer open to do maintenance on it, so ISO 40. Okay, good. So I did get this more or less sorted. I mean, it's not super tight, but that's fine. This is going to be interesting. Man, this might push down really hard on the GPU. I might need to figure out a way to leash this up so it doesn't get in the way. long range zip ties. So what I can do is hook this under here. I'm gonna do something that sucks. It really don't like it, and it is kind of obstructing the fins a bit. We'll see how bad the temps get. This is reversible. I've seen people do worse things to AIOs. It's not even pushing up on it that hard anymore. Now the part that really matters. Maybe I shouldn't have gone with some really long cable mod cables for this. Let me take these combs off. It don't need to look straight and purty no more. Very nice. Oh, and this is what the back looks like. Wait a minute. You're not supposed to make a noise like that. That's not good. Another motherboard screw came out. Now I'm wondering if anything's actually secured in here. So that's 2 motherboard screws. I think I have an idea which one it is too. Well, I don't live in an earthquake zone, but I will do one thing. So I do have Captain Polymide laying around. So the idea is next time I take this apart to put the fan in, I'm going to see these screws here just in case I forget. And then since I'll have it open, I'll be able to take a look at it and get it sorted. Until then, I don't care. It is looking clean. Like seriously though, the fact that the back only has the CPU cable, kind of awesome. We're ready to rumble. Oh wait, nope. Cannot forget that. Y'all ready for this? Yeah, I'm gonna hate the on-off switch in the front, and the fact that I won't be able to tell if the fans are running. I can tell if these ones are running, but that is definitely an unfortunate oversight. I won't even know if these fans are dead now, which John had some fans die, or he had a fan die on him on his 3080, so something to think about. All right, moment of truth. Oh yeah, I forgot it's gonna rub on that. That might be a problem. It's definitely a problem. The computer's working. There's the 3 drives and the external I plugged in. Probably just gotta do a couple of tests and go from there. I also did figure out the fan noise. It was just a filter bolted up against it. Instead of taking the filter out, I have like half a dozen filters, so I just swapped them around until I found one that didn't drag. So, oh yeah, actually, even if I get a slim 120 in there, it's like half blocked by the radiator. Yeah, there's no way that's gonna happen now. I guess those motherboard screws are just gonna sit there then. It's totally not the following week, but I think I have a solution to this rear fan. It's something I haven't done on a computer build for at least a couple of years now, but I did spend money on this fan and I'm gonna use it. Figured out the back of this case can fit a fan header in there without having to Dremel or tin snip it. So I guess I'll go that route. And while I'm in there, I'm going to try and figure out these 2 motherboard screws and make sure the motherboard's still secured. And I might actually clean this wire stuff up a bit. Actually use the damn gray mat this time. I normally don't like using zip ties, but this will be fairly permanent, so. Something's not kosher here. These screws aren't taken. So I found 1 popped up, 1 loose, 1 miss, and the 2 missing. There's something fishy about this. So I think I'm using power supply screws and they seem to be working just fine. That's not great. Yeah, that's not low-key upsetting. I have mixed and matched screws now. So it looks like I got motherboard screws in and power supply screws in, but whatever, it's secure. That's why you always keep all the screws from your builds. You never know when you need it. Actually, let's go a different route. Let's go through the top, then it can go under this IO or this VRM heat shield. That stays nice and neat. Now the motherboard's actually secured. This should be a lot better. Make sure the fan stays connected. Make sure the GPU support's still there. All right, that looks much better. Time to close her up and go from there. Oh God, I did a thing.